Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the player ratings for Everton 2, Burnley 0. This video is sponsored by OneFootball. OneFootball's app makes it easier to find all the latest scores, stats and all the latest news in one place. To download the OneFootball app, click the link in the description. So, comfortable win for our last home game of the season. Obviously, same team as basically been playing in the last few weeks. We got a couple of goals very quickly in the first half, and that was about it, wasn't it? Obviously, Burnley put a couple up front and tried to make it difficult, but didn't really do much in terms of testing the goalkeeper. The defence was strong. Okay, we didn't have too many clear-cut chances, although we did have chances, but in the end, we've run out quite comfortable winners, and if we needed to go up another gear, I think we would have. So let's get into the player ratings. Jordan Pickford, I'll give him a 7. He had very, very little to do, to be honest. A couple of just regular, normal saves that you'd expect him to make. His kicking was fine. He didn't really have to do anything. That was the thing. It was another game where he really wasn't tested, and for that he gets a 7, and because that's like the average marking. And yeah, no problems at all. Seamus Coleman, I'm going to give Seamus Coleman an 8 because he scored a good goal. A very good goal, like a striker's poacher's goal, wasn't it? Defended quite well, got up the right quite well, and just had a generally good game. No silly mistakes, really. Always competing, always trying to get into the box. Some good interceptions from the Burnley players stopped him. Possibly creating more. Okay, his crossing wasn't always great at times, but I thought he was better than he played last week against Crystal Palace, and more of a threat, made them think, and defending as well, because it's not easy defending against a team like Burnley. You know what they're going to do. You know they're going to throw a lot of long balls into the box, and you've got to stop them. Making sure they get clear contact. And I thought he had a good game, so he gets an 8. Luca Dean on the other side, I'm going to give him a 7.5. Again, got up the left-hand side, helped Bernard out. His shot was the reason Seamus Coleman got his goal, although not quite sure where the goalkeeper was going for it. But that's, you've got a right-back scoring and a left-back creating it. I mean, that sounds like the good old days, doesn't it? Well, let's be honest, that sounds exactly like the good old days. So, he's been so consistent this season. I imagine he is when you tally all these up, he'll probably be my player of the year. And he is my player of the year, I'd imagine, anyway. So, really good game. Steady. Doesn't give anyone a minute. And he's a really good defender as well. That's the other thing. Centre backs, Michael Keane, excellent against his old team. I'll give him a 7.5 as well. I thought he was. No, you know what? Yeah, I'll give him a 7.5. I thought he played well. No, I'll give him an 8. I'll give him an 8. I thought he did well. Some of his passes were fantastic, because that's the other side. He was. When they went 2 up front, it was obviously a lot more difficult for them. They like to try and get in front of the centre backs, and if they don't win it, they try to a lot of fouls. And I thought he showed a lot of maturity tonight. And as I say, those passes are really effective as well. He makes, I think that's a big part of the game. I mentioned this before, that people don't always realise. And he's built up this great partnership with Kurt Zouma, and I think he's starting to become a real leader in the team. I went home after the game and quickly watched Sky and just seen his interview at the end, and it's just little things like that, getting in front of the cameras and talking, and he's definitely someone who could, if he just comes out of himself just a little bit more, could definitely be a future captain of the club. You can see that confidence is back with him now. He knows what the manager wants. Doesn't take any stupid risks, but at the same time plays a lot of clever passes as well, and is defending really well. So he gets an 8 from me. Kurt Zouma next up, I'm going to give Kurt Zouma an 8.5. I just thought he was slightly better than him. I thought he got in a few more physical battles. His pace was needed a little bit more, and again was excellent. I mean, you've seen him today, and couple of months ago I was questioning whether we should sign him, and today when you watch him, I was just like, we've got to try and get that signing, even if it's on loan for another year. Whatever it takes, like the Avengers, get him signed, because he's such a it's been such a good partnership. And yes, we got Yerry Mina, but listen, the problem with Yerry Mina is, and this is what we've seen from this year, he obviously picks up injuries, and is that going to stop him building a consistent partnership? I think Yerry Mina has got all the attributes to be a good centre back, but if he can't play consistently, where does that leave us? And thankfully, it was a good job we got Kurt Zouma when we did as well on loan on the transfer deadline day, as well as getting Yerry Mina, because he's just been a rock in there for big parts of the season, and that partnership is blossomed, and they're slightly different from each other as well, which is always good in a partnership. So you get to what they say, an 8.5, brilliant. Garner, I'll give Garner I'll give him a difficult one. I'll give him a 7.5. I didn't think he was brilliant tonight, because he didn't have to be brilliant. Simple as that. I thought he played well. I thought he was just a little bit more. I thought he pushed on a little bit more today. So you've seen a little bit less of the defensive side of him, because he pushed on a little bit and tried to be more of an attacking player. Because Burnley, especially in that first 20 minutes, the amount of ball Burnley give us and the amount of times we got in round the back was incredible. And I thought he pushed on a little bit today, because he simply wasn't needed in that job. They were bypassing him. It was going long all the time. So, but he did a good job in there. And at that level of consistency, that has been brilliant in the last couple of months. It really has. Since the end of January, when he didn't leave, essentially, he's been brilliant. So yeah. Next from Snidler, I thought Snidler played really well tonight, because he was more of that defensive player. I'll give Snidler an 8, because I thought he did his job really well. Physically, he needed to be strong, and he was. He did. His passing was nice. He won a lot of the tackles. He was good in the air, and he did the job exactly like he needed to do. It wasn't quite like other games where you don't really see him. Tonight, it felt like he was the only defensive player in that midfield. Garner did a little bit, but he just pushed on a little bit because of the way Burnley played. So, yeah. So I'll give him an 8. I thought he played well. Gylfi Sigurdsson, I will give a 7.5. I thought certainly in the first half, very bright, very good on the ball, moving it left to right. Had a couple of attempts. Had one in the first half when we were 2-0 up, I think, where the angle was tight and he just tried to smash it, and probably wasn't the right decision. But he quietened down a little bit in the second half as Burnley sort of come into the game a little bit more. There was less. He got on the ball less, but again, consistent. He's been consistent recently, and I thought he did. He did what he needed to do tonight, which is get the ball and move the ball on and try to create opportunities. Richarlison, okay, didn't quite score a goal. In the old days, it would have been his goal. Now, it's not his goal. I'm saying it could have still curled and gone in if it hadn't took the deflection. But disappointing that the goal's not his, but really, really effective while he was on the pitch. Obviously went off with an injury, the same injury he's been carrying since the Man United game. And the goal, I think, highlighted how well our system works when it's at its best. He picks the ball up around the right back spot, gets it up to Calvert-Lewin, who goes wide, holds it up. Richarlison then goes in and fills that space, and then runs with the ball into the space and has a shot. And that's when our system's working right. That's when it's great. It doesn't always work like that because it's a work in progress, but that's when it's at its best, and Richarlison can pick up that's why the right hand side's been really good for him, I think, because he can drift inside, and then that allows Seamus Coleman to get up, and it really bamboozles the opposition, let's say. So I'm going to give Richarlison an 8. Yeah, done his part again. I mean, ultimately, I know it's not his goal, but as far as I'm concerned, he scored. I know it's not his goal, but he scored, so he's getting an extra point for that. Because if he doesn't hit it, it doesn't go in. So, the way I look at it. So brilliant. Bernard on the other side, I will give a 7.5. Went off in the second half for Adam O'Loughlin to come on. Was always a threat. Was always a danger. Maybe he had the right back on toast all game, but I just think at times maybe they squeezed him out the game and the physical side of the game didn't suit him, but did his job brilliantly. Brilliant with Dean, always a threat, as I said, and I think just got pushed out the game a little bit in the second half as they just got a little bit more physical, which is what you'd expect from a team that are all like the monsters from Space Jam. So yeah, I mean, listen, all the players are above, are like 7 and above. That's what you want. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I would give Dominic Calvert-Lewin a 7. I think tonight he did physically all those things. Nice movement, especially for the first goal. Part of it in the second goal, keeping the ball alive in the box. But I think we're all seeing now, or what we're seeing now is we're looking at Dom and going, you can do all that now. You can do it. Now we need that extra stuff from you. Now we need... He had a couple of attempts that didn't really trouble the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper just took them. He had one where he should have controlled it a little bit better, and he's blasted it over the bar. His link-up play is really good. Even today when he's going up against big physical players, his link-up play is really good. But that's when fans are going to start saying, yeah, but we want goals from you now as well, mate. If you're going to do it, we want goals from you. And I'm not having a go at him as such. It's just, he's just got to be a little bit more. And we said this about him obviously last week as well. He just needs to be a little bit more creative. The substitutes, Walcott obviously had to come on for Richarlison. I'll give him a 7. Whatever. Should have scored, but didn't. Should have. I'll give him a 7. Admiral Luckman, I'll give him a... He was alright, Admiral Luckman. I'll give him a 7.5. Should have scored. Hit the bar. Should have scored. When Walcott should have scored. His overall play was positive. He was trying to run with the ball and get into the box, and he did alright when he came in. He did okay. And Phil Jagielka, fantastic to see him come on. Was there a message in that? I don't know. Was there a message from the manager saying to the player, you ain't getting a contract? I don't know. I'd like to that have been sorted out by tonight. But maybe it was just one of them. It was like, there isn't been a deal signed. So, therefore, I'm just going to do this just in case. Which is that's good management, as far as I'm concerned. Good management. No, there's no reason to have any what ifs. He made the decision to bring him on, and he brought him on, and he got fantastic reception. And if that's the way it finishes for Phil Jagielka, then he's gone out with a 2-0 win, and the fans singing his name. So Phil Jagielka can have a 7. You can have a 7 as well. Yeah, so there you go. These have been my player ratings. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. You agree? It's hard on games like this. It really is hard to get. But you can't. There's no one tonight. You go, oh, he was terrible. They were just like, it was just one of those. It was a game that we won, and it was not an easy win. Everyone worked hard, but no one really shone as such. So, but they are my player ratings. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to check out all our other videos. I'll see you later.